our business consultant. We are very, very, very happy to have her. We've been without a consultant in Alexandria from October to January, and she began January 4th, right? So we're happy to have her because we kind of went low as far as the training events that we could do without a consultant, but now that she's here, this is her second one that she's doing. A couple of you have come to her other one. She gets rave reviews. She's really, really, really good. We're excited that she's going to speak, or I'm excited, and so is her husband. So this is Maria Miranda, and I'm going to let her take over, and thank you for coming. I hope you get a lot out of it.
But there's absolutely no pressure for me to do well today.
I'll be fine.
So yes, I want to thank you all for coming as well. This seminar, as you all know, is a workshop on developing a business plan. What we have found out in the short time that I have been at the Alexandria Small Business Development Center is that most of the clients who come into my office, they need a business plan. Whether they realize it when they first come into my office or not, that is usually the underlying problem of why they're in my office. A business plan, whether you are a new business that is starting up, whether you're thinking about a new business to start up, or if you are an existing business that's already in operations, this class will benefit you, okay? So to get started, I want to tell you, of course, who I am. I am a Master's of Business Administration and Finance. My specializations are organizational development, operational improvement, and real estate. We are a network of 9 offices throughout the state. Each center has a professional located at that center, the consultants, that has some area of expertise. We have all had small businesses in the past, or we currently own and operate small businesses that have shown success. We are all credentialed in some area of expertise, and we do collaborate. We collaborate via email, telephone, text message, Skype for those offices who have that capability, but we do collaborate quite often. We are the only nationally accredited small business assistance provider in Louisiana. We are accredited. We go through accreditation reviews on a regular basis through the federal government and local state agencies, and we are the only one that is accredited. We are also tax funded. So when you come to our office for consultation, it is at no cost to you. Our general services are one-on-one consultations, management and technical assistance, low-cost workshops and training opportunities. We say low cost and not no cost because some of our training opportunities, if we bring in outside resources, we do have to, in some instances, they will not do it for free, so we do have to compensate them, and we are not allowed to, so we have to pass that cost on to our clients. But we keep it very low. It's usually no more than $20, $25. And then we have a wonderful information resource center, which we will discuss when we get to the marketing. Our existing business services, which are kind of different from our startup, okay? So for existing businesses, because we help both. And a lot of our existing businesses come to us because they started out kind of just off the cuff and they don't really have a strong sales and marketing strategy, if they have any at all. So we help them to do market plans, research, financial analysis. We help with growth strategies because sometimes they have a really good idea, they launch, and oh my gosh, before I know it, I need to grow and expand and open a second location, but how do I do that? So we help with that. We help with loan packaging. That's a term that is often thrown around a lot by us in the industry, but basically loan packaging is helping you to put together all of the documentation needed to be able to go before a lender or an investor and say, this is my idea, this is who I am, this is what I have. Are you willing to invest in my company? Are you willing to take a chance on my company? We help you to conduct a financial checkup, which is kind of like a financial analysis. A financial checkup is more of, are you really strong? Are you viable? It's a little different from a financial analysis where we're helping you just to determine your ratios and if a line of credit will be really good or if you just need a construction loan. A financial checkup is, let's see how you're doing because you may be facing a little bit of difficulties that we need to address before they exacerbate. We help you to connect with federal, state and federal resources, and we help you to build a team of industry experts, which is one of the, to me, in my experience as a small business owner, I think is invaluable to small businesses. I think a lot of small businesses really underestimate the importance of networking and having that resource team available to you. And then training, these are training sessions that we currently statewide, we try to hold training sessions. If we can't hold it in this location, we try to make sure that we have something online at lsbdc.org, or sba.gov. We try to have training sessions on all of these topics. We have startup assistance and business plans, business continuity plans, risk management, marketing, cash flow, rural business development, human resources, international trade, government contracting. We do help, even at this office, I'm very knowledgeable in how to get qualified, licensed, and certified to do government contracting. So that's something that we do at this location as well. And social media is one of Heather's favorite things to help people with. She likes that. So let's get to the nitty-gritty of the workshop and why you're here, okay? What is a business plan? It's a map for your business. Most people think that a business plan is only needed if you need money. That is not true. That is absolutely not true. A business plan is there to help you guide the business and to take into making critical, objective decisions in every aspect of your business. What many people don't realize is that when you start a business, you need to understand every single thing about it. That doesn't mean that you're going to operate every single aspect of your business. No one is a perfectionist in every area. No one is skilled in every area. But you need to understand every area of your business because as the owner, you are responsible for that business. At the end of the day, I don't care how you form that business, the buck stops with you. You are the owner. You are responsible for the people that you employ to make sure they get their paycheck. If they come to you every day and they perform the way you requested that they perform, it's your obligation to make sure that everything operates in the most efficient manner so they get paid. If you tell your customers that you're going to deliver a certain product in a certain timely manner, that stops with you. Now, do you know all the intricacies of packaging and distribution and accounting and management? No, you don't have to. That's what you pay people to do. But you need to know enough that if you run a report or you request a report from one of your employees, one of your managers, one of your subordinates, that you are able to interpret what they are telling you and know if you need to address a certain aspect of that business. So a business plan is very important. And it is a living document. It will never be complete. It will never. You will have at the end of the day, you'll have a business plan that says this is where I am at this point in time, right? But then 2 years from now, if you expand, then you need to go back and revise that business plan. And once we go through the different parts of it, you'll understand why. So the business plan specifically helps you determine if you're the right person to start or operate a business, if there's a market for the product or service that you plan to offer, and that's even applicable to existing businesses. If the proposed venture will be profitable, and if it is profitable, is it profitable enough? You can see positive cash flows every day of the year, and then at the end of the year, every day of the year throughout the year. And then when you do your annual reports, you're negative. And people are like, oh my God, how did that happen? Well, did you plan properly? Did you plan properly, and did you capture all of your real expenses, all of your operating costs, all of your cost of goods? Did you really capture all of that? So, once again, it's going to clarify your business operations and your needs. It's going to help you determine your industry. I've actually had people come into my office and I'll ask them what industry you're in, and they'll tell me, and I'm like, well, tell me about your business. They'll tell me about their business, and I'm like, well, that's not that industry. So maybe the research that you did, the reason why you're having problems is because you've misidentified your competitors, because you misidentified your industry. So tell me this, if you misidentified your competitors, what else have you misidentified?
Your market.
Your market and your customers. So therefore, you're not really as profitable as you should be, but that's only room for opportunity. So it's not, we can fix that. And Also, it enables a lender or an investor to evaluate your business, and they do use it. Most importantly, they want to know how well you know your business. So it should be clear, concise. They don't need a book. They don't want a book. They want a short document that they can read through really briefly and get an overview of your business. And when you deliver that business plan, I've had clients ask me, so do I just deliver it to them? Can I just mail it to them? No. No, no, no. You want to bring it to them. You want to have them flip through it while you're there. And in case they have any questions, you're there to explain it to them. It should be able to be read by anybody. Anybody. You should be able to hand it to your sister and say, read my business plan and tell me what you think. What am I doing? Your friend, your colleague, anyone should be able to read it and tell you what you're doing and how you plan to do it. Like I said, brief, brief, brief. 3 to 5 pages of narratives. Now that's not going to include the financials that we put at the end and your resume and stuff like that, because there are appendices that we put at the end. But the narrative should be 3 to 5 pages. That's it. That's all it should be. You have to write your business plan. That's why we're having this workshop. Now, I have to tell you, one of the things that I do on my own, I've done for many years, is I write business plan. But the disadvantage of that is if I'm writing your business plan for you, then whose business is it? Is it really your business or is it my business? I wrote the business plan, I developed the marketing strategy, I know the financials way better than you know them because you weren't even there when I did them. So for you to be able to defend your business plan, you have to write it. Now, does that mean that I can't help you? No, that's not what that means. That means you can come to me, you can say, hey Maria, I'm on this marketing plan and I'm just not getting it. And I can say, well, you know what, let me use my research team, let me do a little bit more research, let's pull in some more reliable data and see if you're on the right track. I can look at your financials, review them and say, okay, let's go back, because I'm missing something here. This does not look right to me. The financials is my strong suit. That's my area. I love financials, I love numbers, so that does not bother me at all. And then preferably always write it in the third person. You don't want to write it as I, me, we. You don't want that. This is a business. You want to present it to the bank, to the lender, to the investor, to any potential management people that you want to bring on. Because believe it or not, nowadays, high-level execs, they want to know, what am I getting into? So you want it to always be the business. Crescent City Consulting does this. It's not Maria Miranda does this. It's the company does it, always, okay? Okay, so these are the 5, there's 5 parts to the business plan, and then there's the appendices. So the reason why you see that arrow is the executive summary when you present your business plan is first. But when you write your business plan, you write it last. We're going to go through each of these steps and you're going to understand why. It's exactly what it says it is. It's a summary. Well, if you have never done a business plan before, you can't summarize what you haven't done. So the only way you can do the executive summary is to make it do your business description, your management plan, your marketing plan, your financial plan. Okay, and then the appendices are very, very, very important, so we'll get to that. Okay, so let's start with the business description. Okay, and also if you look in your folder with the handouts, you'll notice that the first thing you see on the right-hand side is your business plan outline. Okay, so that's for you. You can reference it as we are going through if you would like to see the different parts of the business plan that we're on and the order that we're discussing them. That's this one right here, the colorful one, okay? So the business description is very important. It discusses everything else about the company that's not going to be covered in the other 3 sections. Now I can tell you that this is usually the easiest part. The marketing and the financial are usually the more challenging parts. Okay? So the business description should be pretty straightforward. If you're having problems on that, we need to sit down. You do need to come in for a consultation. And I'm not saying that facetiously, you do. You need to come in, you need to talk to me or some other professional that you have, and you need to discuss it because you need to clarify what your business is before you go on to the other parts. A lot of people say, oh, the marketing plan is the most important, or the financials is the most important. No, if you can't tell me what you want to do and how, who you are, or what you want to do, what product or service you want to deliver, the other parts are moot. So the company and the concept, that's the owners, no matter how you're legally formed, you're going to have either investors, owners, or shareholders. You want to make sure you have all the information there. The location or proposed location, if it's a business startup and you have a proposed location, then put that proposed location in there. If your location is determined upon financing, you can put to be determined dependent upon financing, but don't leave it blank, like you don't realize that you need a location. You want to have a legal description that which discusses the legal form of ownership, whether it's an LLC, an S Corp, or sole proprietorship. You want to discuss that. If you have been in business for years, or if you are a new startup, you still want to list your purpose and your goals, okay? Regardless of what kind of business you have. Also, if you are in business and you have been in business for a while, touch on some highlights, brag. Don't be shy, don't be modest, brag. What accomplishments and milestones have you encountered while doing your business? I mean, put it all out there. This is not the time to be modest. Present the current status and prospects for the industry in which you operate. That means if your business is doing really well and you notice that in your industry there are no new entrants to your industry, wow, right there, I've identified that I'm not able to meet customer demand, as evidenced by all these requests for services that I'm not able to meet in a timely manner. I want to expand to address the need. There are no other entrants to my market. You want to explain that in there. If you're changing a product because you see people are looking for more than what you offer or something a little less than what you offer, address that. The products and services, what are you going to offer? How are you going to offer it? Why are you going to offer it? If there's any intellectual property involved, because believe it or not, we do have quite a few customers that come in and they have patents on products, and that's what they're coming to us for. They have patents and they're like, okay, I've done everything, I know how to get my patent, but now that I have it and I spent all this money, what do I do with it? They don't know. They're like, that's not their thing. They're technical. They knew how to develop it, create it, make it. They know it'll be really good for the community, but they don't know how to market it or get it out there. What's unique about your product? You can't go sell a McDonald's burger and expect to compete with McDonald's. It's not going to work. You have to have something unique. And what is your main selling point? We're going to get to that in marketing. And discuss future plans for expanding your product or improving your product. Facilities and improvements, that's self-explanatory. Talk about where you're going to be located. The most important thing with this is a lot of people get stuck up on manufacturing because manufacturing has a lot of caveats in it. If you're developing a new product and it needs to be manufactured, there are very strict guidelines and compliance that you have to do with it. So in certain instances, this will be a very lengthy section. Not hard. If you know your product well, it won't be hard, but it can be detailed and lengthy. Don't get aggravated because it's detailed and lengthy, and don't think that you're sharing too much. You're not. You want to show that you're knowledgeable about what you're doing. And believe it or not, lenders here today are very, very knowledgeable about certain processes, procedures. They are very, very knowledgeable, especially in the manufacturing industry, because manufacturing is expanding in Central Louisiana at a rapid pace. The operating plan, once again, it gets into how you're going to market it, how you're going to produce it. Can be very, very lengthy. It can be very detailed, but it needs to be in some instances. Okay, not so much for service type businesses, but more so for manufacturing and production. It's not hard to do, and we do have some standard like templates that you can use that I've used personally, that I share. I'm also Six Sigma certified, which means I'm an operations efficiency specialist. So in that regard, that's what I'm saying. We do have templates and stuff that can help you to simplify that. And once you start doing it, it really isn't that, it's not that challenging, it's just tedious. That's what gets most people. You want to discuss your suppliers and distribution methods as well. Sometimes people get so caught up on the marketing and I'm going to make this and it's really great. Well, how are you going to get it out there? Some of the best business plans are the ones where individuals will walk in with commitments, letters of commitment from potential customers that indicate that, yes, if you launch this product, or if you launch this service, I will use your services, I will buy your product. That's when you know you have a really good service and product, because those letters of commitment are hard to get. But if you can get some, that's excellent. I just had a client walk in with 7 of them. So I'm not just, I mean, they actually, and his product is very good. He's been working on it a long time, and he walked in. I said, you know what you really need for your business plan is some commitment letters. He's like, oh, Miss Brenda, nobody does that because, God, they don't mean anything. People are scared to put anything in writing. I said, well, just go ask. Present your business plan to them, to your customers, once it's given you verbal, and see what they say. He came back to my office yesterday, 7 letters of commitment, large companies. He was over the moon. He actually, I'm going to talk to the lenders. He went from, I'm not going to talk to the lenders if you can't go with me, to, I'm going to talk to 2 lenders. I've already made appointments. He's very, very confident now. Okay, so the marketing plan. The marketing plan is really important because that's how you determine your competition and your market. Just as Alpha said, it has to be very thorough. And some people feel that it is one of the most difficult areas to prepare, especially somebody like me that is more into number crunching. But if you can break it down into numbers, it becomes a little bit easier. And that's what we help you do. We help you to identify who are your potential customers, the market size and industry trends, the nature of your competition, and who are your competitors. Everybody will have competitors. Every business has competitors. If you haven't identified a competitor, then you're not researching it properly, and you haven't identified your product or service properly. SWOT analysis is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay, you need to identify the strengths and weaknesses of your competitors so you can identify opportunities and threats for you. Their weakness is your opportunity, their strength is your threat. Okay, very important. If you take nothing else out of marketing plan, remember that, okay, because it's very important. It can determine whether you really want to launch that product or not. So when developing your marketing strategy, remember that you have to identify your product. They do the 4 Ps because, of course, this is marketing. They're trying to do alliteration. But basically, you want to identify your product or service, figure out how you're going to distribute it, how you're going to get it to the customer, and then you have to determine how you're going to promote it or market it so people know that it's there, and then how you're going to price it. So it's called the 4 Ps of marketing. A marketing plan is the result of market research, and market research is a systematic process of gathering, recording, and analyzing data, which is what we are usually, most of the consultants, really good at. So that alleviates some of your stress in that regard. We have a wonderful resource at one of our colleges in the state where it's a bunch of grad students. And what we do is, in order for them to meet their compliance, we get them to pull research data. Now, can they analyze it for us? No. They're not, they don't have that capability. But they're at least able to go to the different research databases that we have. And if we tell them, this is my NAICS code, this is my market, this is my industry, I need you to pull this data for me. They'll pull that data from me. It saves us time, gives them some research experience, and it saves you some stress on having to be able to find that information yourself. Okay? So it addresses why, how, and when people will buy from you, and it is verifiable data. And that's the importance of it, is that it's verifiable, reliable data. It's not your girlfriend's mom's third cousin told you that this is a good product. This is verifiable. The bank likes verifiable. Any lender, any investor wants verifiable data. So in terms of your customers, it's going to tell you, if you do a good market analysis, it will tell you males aged 25 to 34 in this income bracket are your most likely customers. Are you going to get all those males in that bracket? That's going to be determined based on your pricing and your promotion. But that's your target market. That's what you're looking for. That's what the data tells you. You will, like I said, letters of commitments, you can include them in a marketing plan. It's really good. If you're an existing business, list your principal current customers. And have and this is why a business plan is important too. If you don't have all of this stuff readily available, you need to. If you're not tracking who are your primary customers and how much they spend on your product every year, that's a major issue. You need to know. That's something as a business owner that you need to be able to regurgitate on demand. If anyone asks you, because you are your greatest promoter, if you're out at a meeting, a networking event, and you don't know that, you need to work on it. You need to know who is your competition, but more importantly, what competitive edge do you have? What makes you unique, what sets you apart, what makes you able to sell your product. Anybody in here is our current business owner? Does anybody have an existing business already? Okay. So, do all of you in here know who your competition is? Okay. Share with us, if you don't mind. Who does not mind sharing anything about their business? Does anyone mind sharing with us? Okay, so would you like to share? Okay, what kind of business are you?
H&H Appliance and Furniture in LaCount.
Okay.
In the city limits, none.
Mm-hmm.
In the area, we serve about, on a daily basis, about a 40-mile area. And in Marksville, there's a furniture store and appliance store. In Alexandria now, there are 3 that are pretty much same products that we have. The wonderful thing about what we do and the other companies that we have is that we bring to Central Louisiana, part of it is by design with the suppliers, but we bring to Central Louisiana pretty much locally the smorgasbord of appliances and furniture. There are some companies that will allow 2 furniture companies within an area Bassett, for instance, will allow 2, but otherwise, sometimes they'll say designated, you are the dealer for that area. And so if you combine the home furnishings companies in Louisiana, in Central Louisiana, we pretty much have the smorgasbord, which is back to the buy local piece. That we have to stress. So it's really an interesting industry.
She did really well, don't you think? She did really well. She identified her market, identified her product, her service. She identified everything. Her competition, she addressed not only who her competition is, but how they work together. And while it's a synchronous operation, she very, very well done. Thank you. And that's kind of like what you want to do. That's what you want to do. You want to enhance it with your supplier agreements, because like she said, it's in large part. So the agreements that she has with her suppliers and the way the agreements are set up. So that is very important. You want to include that. When you're doing your business plan, now remember, your business plan is confidential. It's only going to be seen by those professionals that you share it with. So don't be afraid to put information in, okay? Because professionals are bound by ethics. Everything you come into when you come into the office of the SBDC, it's like you're talking to your attorney. I can't divulge anything that you tell me. That's the truth. It's in writing. When you come in, I have you sign a contract with me. If you don't tell me, Maria, discuss this with Heather, and Heather will tell you. She'll ask me sometimes, well, how was that client? I can't. He asked me not to discuss it. That's it. She won't even ask anymore. When the client calls in, she won't even ask him. She'll just say, okay, I'll tell Maria you called. That's it. If your wife calls me, or your husband calls me and asks me, oh, I didn't meet you when I met with Mr. Robinson, so I really would prefer that before I discuss anything with you, why don't you come in with him at the next session? We'll sit down and discuss it, and from then forward, I'll be happy to discuss anything you need to know. So everything you come in to tell me, if it's a new idea, will not be released out of that office unless you release it. And I say that all the time, and I tell clients all the time, unless you release it. And how many times do you want to bet me that they go out there and I'll tell them, that is a wonderful idea, just don't discuss it. And they go out and they tell everybody and their grandfather, and then somebody else beats them to the punch. And I'm like, didn't I tell you that was a good idea? And you went told everybody. So know who your competitors, she knew this. She knew how many competitors she had and everything, and that's what you want to do. Advertising and promotion is, very important. A lot of people who are doing their financials, which is the section we're going to soon, they don't want to put aside any money for advertising and promotion. Like, I'll worry about that later. And I'm like, really? If you come to me and I'm a lender, you tell me I'll worry about advertising and promoting it later, I'm going to put you out of my office. I'm going to show you the door. There is no way that you're going to tell me that you're going to make any kind of successful business if you don't advertise and promote it. So yes, you do have to put aside money for that, and you do need to have a plan. Social media, radio, television, newspaper, flyers, print, networking, community events, whatever, but put it in there. Present a schedule and approximate cost of promotion and advertising for at least 1 year. Now, when we get to the finance, and I'm going through this kind of fast because when we get to the finance, that's most of the stuff that's in here because that's the one that usually has most difficulty. But you'll see that on your startup costs, there's a place for initial grand opening average, and then monthly, you're supposed to set aside a month every month. This is one, I keep smiling at her because she's one of my current clients. So that's the only reason I'm smiling at her, okay? And so pricing, you have to discuss the prices that you charge. You can't guess. Some people do, they guess and they say, well, I think I can get this one. No. We need to be able to justify the prices that you charge based on the cost of your goods sold, demand for the product, what your market will support. That's the best way to put it. So once again, we can do market research to help you to get the data to back up your pricing. You compare your pricing policies with those of your major competitors. We pulled that. That's kind of challenging to do if you offer something where the prices are not really advertised a lot, and that happens in a lot of services. With products, it's not as difficult, but sometimes with services, you have to pull some market research because they don't publicly advertise that. And of course, this is important. Describe any discount allowances for prompt payment or volume purchases. That's important. It shows that you have a very well thought out pricing policy. The banks like that. Okay, your management plan, this is pretty simple. You want to describe your key management personnel, their primary duties. You want to present the existence of a proper balance of technical, managerial, and business experience. Okay? This is telling the bank, this is my business idea, and this is this group of people is how I'm going to make it work. You need to make sure that you address every single aspect of how the business is going to run. So you want to say who are the principals or owners, investors, shareholders, and what are their responsibilities. You can't just say, well, my husband and I are going to own it, and we're going to share responsibilities equally, and we're going to get it done. Nope. Who's doing what? Who's doing what? What experience and expertise do the principals have? Do not discount that. The bank will not accept, well, I'm going to pay somebody that has experience to come in here and do this. You know what they're going to say? No. Because that person can resign today or tomorrow, and you have here a product that you don't know how to run. If you don't have experience and expertise in that company, no. You need to demonstrate how you know how to run a company.